Well, there are no changes to the Chiefs pack from last week against the Crusaders. Liam Messam had really stood up in recent weeks, and his physical approach was a feature of his game last week. It'll be needed again tonight. There was concern about captain Craig Clark earlier in the week, but the knee is good enough for him to start. And the back line is also unchanged from last week, and Tuera Kerr-Barlow gets another chance to show his quality. Kerr-Barlow and Aaron Cruden have formed an outstanding partnership this season. And further out, Sonny Bill Williams will be keen to make his last game for the time being with a championship ring. So all in readiness for the grand finale of Super Rugby in 2012. And there is a real atmosphere around this Waikato Stadium, an intimate rugby ground holding 25,000. Steve Walsh to do his second final. He did the 2007 final between the Sharks and the Bulls. The assistant referees Craig Joubert and Keith Brown. Garrett Williamson is the television match official, and the whistle sounds, and the 2012 final is underway at Waikato Stadium. And a tidy start by Craig Clark as Kerr-Barlow works it back for Cruden. And I think we'll see the ball go in the air a fair bit in these conditions. Easily fielded by Lambie, and he's met just on his own side of halfway. And the Sharks have it under control with Charles McLeod. And there goes the high kick from McLeod. Just pushed it a bit far, but Robinson didn't bother with the mark and sent it off instead to Tiko Rotuma. Now Kerr-Barlow, and here is big Ben Tamifuna, driven powerfully to the ground by Willem Alberts. And they fancy a turnover. They have one too, and the Sharks have turned it over as Jordan throws the pass. And off goes Daniel, taken down the tackle of Kane Thompson. McLeod, and a switch from Michalak, and gets it off to Louis Ludic on the right wing side. And McLeod, he had two shots at it, and he knocked it on. Well, it is a greasy ball, it has to be said.
Yeah, it certainly will be, and Ian Smith did describe to us the conditions down there. As you see, both coaches will be kind of pleased with that start. The Chiefs got into the game early. The Sharks with the counter-attack, they kicked the ball to Robbie Robinson. They're going to have to be very careful about kicking to him aimlessly. He is a positive player. He will want to run the ball back at them. They'll need a good chasing line and accurate kicking, otherwise he could hurt them.
First scrum of the game always tells us a bit about how things are going to pan out.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Solid enough from the Chiefs. Kerr-Barlow reaches in. Now Cruden sends it off to Robinson. It's a weighted kick, and Nanai Williams onto it. Now the chase is on, and tipped into touch by Mbovo. Nicely weighted kick by Robbie Robinson.
Well, this is the scrum. They're on defence, the Chiefs, but again, they will take their opportunities if they find space. Mbovo was infield a bit. Play on quickly, the Chiefs.
They want to keep this game going. Here's Cruden, bit of space. Here is Horrell. Robinson dragged to the ground by Ludic, but they're only 12 metres away here as they get close to the sideline, as Kerr-Barlow sends it wide for Cruden once more. Here's Williams, first touch. Off it goes to Horrell, and Andrew Horrell sets it up right in centre field. Kerr-Barlow again. Cruden didn't get anything on that, and it was nicely done. And here goes the Beast, but he's thrown the pass away too, and now it's snapped up and turned by Messam. But it's a penalty against the Chiefs.
Early tackle. The experience of Schwalger. He knew that there was a chance and an opportunity there for the Chiefs to break out. The Beast got the ball and looked to get the arms free. And the Chiefs, the Sharks player that was in support got taken early.
Well, really early evidence of the Chiefs putting an emphasis on a kicking game. Brilliant little nudge through, wasn't it? Poor kick there, though. I'll get back to that, Nisbo.
Yep, OK. So the ball is with Tim Nanai-Williams. Very dangerous from broken play, given the opportunity as Kerr Barlow gets it off to Williams. Oh, a solid defence on him. Might have been Yanni Duplessis hit him. And now the weighted kick again, but beautifully controlled by Bismarck Duplessis.
Oh, great hands as well.
And away it goes to J.P. Peterson off the Lambie pass. And J.P. Peterson's kick drifting, lovely. Beautiful kick.
The Sharks. Well, you wouldn't think it's raining out there, Smithy. The skill level there, the pick-up from Bismarck. The pass then was delivered at the toes of Lambie, and he picked it up as well.
Yeah,
and this is the tackle on Sonny Bill.
What a beauty. Absolute statement that, wasn't it? He ain't going nowhere. The Sharks have their way tonight. But just further emphasises my point about the kicking game tonight. We've seen 3 or 4 useful ones from the Chiefs. We've seen an average one from Aaron Cruden, and now we've seen a beauty to put the Sharks in #1 position.
Oh, the line-out has gone against the Chiefs. So the Sharks putting the early pressure on here. Nearly 5 minutes gone first half as McLeod hands it up to Alberts. Now McLeod again to Bismarck Duplessis. Working in pods of a couple as not getting anything yet. Now they try the back division. Michalak dragged to the ground, but the ball's still there for McLeod. Across to Kankowski. And the big number 8. Struggling to get it to ground. Now he does so. And the ball has been spilled forward, but it's offside against the Chiefs. And this should be a gift 3 points to get the scoring underway in the final.
Well, it will be, but they'll be able to take a lot of heart out of that, the Chiefs. This forward pack is a big one, and it's in an informed one for the Sharks, and they didn't make a lot of progress there. The Chiefs showed the same line speed as they did last week against the Crusaders. They fronted up. Just need to keep their discipline. You'd have to say, though, very good start by the Sharks. They'll be pleased with this, Smithy.
Well, I got Bob Skinstad alongside me as well tonight, so we've got double input on the sideline. Bob, this is a really good steal.
It's a great steal. Ryan Kankowski has just, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, stepped into that role. The Sharks have been down 2 locks because of injury, and what he's done in terms of picking out the opposition line out and also winning all their ball for the Sharks has just created a great opportunity for them to go forward. A penalty for them at the beginning of this game. They'll be delighted with how it's going.
Regulation kick for Michalak, and the Sharks lead by 3 points to 0.
Oh, interesting to see Michalak taking the kicking duties. Obviously, he's been doing that while Lambie's been out. We thought that Lambie might take over, but Michalak stepped up, got the job done, so good to see, and a good confidence booster for him. There's Lambie, who's back after injury, perhaps just not wanting those duties as he's getting back into match play.
Cruden with the restart. 7 minutes gone in the game. Peterson. And the Sharks take it outside the 22, so no direct kick into touch as Lambie drills it away down. Fielded by Kane Thompson. Now Robinson, a little bit uncertain. It can be dangerous from this area. He lays it back for Kerr Barlow. Now Nanai-Williams being shut down and driven back. Good, strong, physical start by the Sharks. Brody Retallick, new All Black this season. Now Swolga. Pick and go from Taumalolo. He's got very good pace off the mark as Kerr Barlow sends it wide to Cruden. And almost an intercept pass. It was hard in the mouth stuff for a moment as J.P. Peterson lined it up. Didn't quite come in contact with it, though. But the Sharks are now back inside their own territory as Kerr Barlow. Cruden again testing. Pushing it far too far. Lambie comfortable enough and is able to claim the fair catch and quickly kicks and makes good contact too. Patrick Lambie, who seems to be around forever. He's only 21 years of age. Have a look at this.
Oh, it was very close, wasn't it? You can see Peterson there. He was the last defender, though. You can see the numbers of the Chiefs out there. He had to make that decision to come forward, and he almost snaffled an intercept there.
Swalga goes quickly. Thompson, but Messam put under pressure immediately. Well, they came through the middle, that's fair enough. As the Chiefs in great formation. Kurbalo, that's a disappointing kick. That's going to drift across the touchline.
Oh.
The referee's going to have a chat to Craig Clark.
Okay, we've just had 3 instances in a row in the last 3 rucks. Way over there. We've had 2 rucks in a row here. You're a defender who's reaching out and holding on to the guy, okay?
They're halfback.
No. They're defenders, okay? Your guys can't touch them. Leave them alone, otherwise it's a direct penalty against you because they're just slapping you down. It's going to cause frustration.
Okay, so
Yep.
So
Okay,
what he's talking about there is what they call in the modern game, the A defender is the first defender either side of the ruck, and then obviously the next defender out's the B one. You can see Retallick here. He's grabbing, he's trying to get Bismarck. So they're the A defenders that Steve Walsh is talking about. They're the first defenders outside of the ruck. The Chiefs players are trying to grab them to stop them from pushing forward and defending.
Kankowski, clean line-out take. Away it goes from Kutsia. And the Sharks on the 10-metre line in Chiefs territory, using their big men, and they are big men. At that time it was Alberts. Now knock on. And no advantage.
First real mistake there from the Sharks, but I will say that they're winning the battle, just not on the scoreboard, but you can tell by the hesitancy in the attack from the Chiefs in the early stage of this game, but also the kicking game now. Kurbalo's kick was a poor one. His box kick straight into touch. Cruden's kick deep, his kick short. He's been uncertain. So the Sharks have just made the early statements, no doubt about that.
They're going to have to be a lot more patient this week, the Chiefs, than they were against the Crusaders. They made a lot of line breaks. In the last 2 weeks, the Sharks have had the kitchen sink thrown at them by the Reds and the Stormers and have hardly yielded. Their defensive system is fantastic.
Pause. Engage.
Thompson takes it off the back. Kurbalo drops it onto the left boot. Lambie is outside the 22. And it is out on the full. Nicely done by Aaron Cruden. Well, Lambie was under pressure mainly because he slipped over. But I was just thinking, Justin, there's not the same ferocity about the Chiefs that we saw last week.
Not at the moment. Their intensity levels last week were at the extreme level. They're going to be hard to match that, and given that they're favourites this week as well.
Swalga throws quickly to Clark, not straight.
That's the pressure of an early steal. So one of the most experienced campaigners on the block, Mo Schwalger, and the Chiefs set is under pressure early.
Yes, he took it on his right shoulder, clearly not straight.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Sharks first scrum. And it's solid too. So both scrums started well. Michalak. Good distance from Freddie Michalak. Nanai Williams gets back. He's got Robinson if he needs him. Nanai Williams, he slipped past the first tackle of Kankowski. Kurbalo away for Cruden. Here is Messam, Liam Messam, taken in a good tackle by Ludick. And the Chiefs are 10 out from the 22. Cruden goes wide for Retallick. Now up the centre goes Swalga. Tamalolo wants to get his hands on it. Has to walk past it though, so Retallick. Next cab off the rank. Williams. Tikaratuma. Louis Ludick on the right wing has made several very good tackles early on. Mo Swalga. Kurbalo scoops it off. Here's Williams. two-man tackle, as you'd expect. Kerbalo once more. Cruden probing. Good defence still, though, by the Sharks. And the ball's been kicked through by the Chiefs. They made a mistake, but it looks like they might get it back simply by getting numbers to the ball. Here's Robinson. Slings the pass wide. Horrell. Right in centre field in a good attacking position for Kerbalo. Slow ball, though. Swolga. Boy, he was there early. Keegan Daniel. You could argue offside there as the ball is taken through by Taumalolo. Kerbalo, short pass. Probing again, there's no room around the fringes. So Tikarotuma tries the blind side, but once more, nothing doing. So Kane Thompson has a go. Retallick, 22 looming. Taumalolo, he's quick. Got a beautiful pass away to Messam. And the ball knocked down by Ngovo. Justin Marshall's favourite move. What do you think?
I think that he absolutely had to do that out of desperation. They created the overlap. Taumalolo did very well. First to beat Bismarck, then the offload, and it was on big time for the Chiefs out wide. Ngovo is obviously a winger. We all know that, and he was infield quite a lot. If he didn't get his hands on this ball, the Chiefs were in for a real good try-scoring opportunity. You can see here as the last defender, he wasn't trying to catch that. I'll stay on my train, Smithy. I'll stay on it. I think that should be a penalty.
Well, it's the second time, though, isn't it? That's the second time they've gone a one on about 4 defence out wide. Peterson first time round, and both times it's been to, well, let's say to the agreeance of Steve Walsh so far. Crowd not so far here. We've got an opportunity for the Chiefs. Big back line out to the left, small blind right.
Pause, engage.
So Kerbalo, now Cruden to Horrell. Cruden again. Shut down as Latta makes the pass for Robinson. Kerbalo hit him on the foot. The ball was out. And the Sharks were through very quickly. Again, it was out. And they're putting some real pressure on. He's not getting a lot of protection, Kerbalo, at the moment. As McLeod, now Peterson. It's a very average kick. And they're going to go back. No advantage here.
Well, fellas, have got to bring Bob Skinstead in here again on this level of defence. It's been absolutely impeccable so far, Bob.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think the commitment of the Sharks was shown in that early game against the Reds, and then they lifted it against the Stormers. I'm really impressed with the level of the intensity tonight. It's 2-man and 3-man tackles here, and they're just blowing the Chiefs off the ball. And when the Chiefs have got a good ball going forward, they're picking them up and turning them backwards. Yes, they've had to come in off the line, but I think that's because they're committing so many tacklers to the actual physical act of tackling.
Well, their line speed, Bob's, a lot better, isn't it? And also, another thing that helps them is their discipline. They don't give away many penalties, do they?
Well, that's the thing, is once they've made the tackle, they're rolling away very quickly. They're not contesting the ball on the ground, so we won't see as many turnovers from that, but we might see some turnover from the blowout type tackles at the rucks, which we've 2 or 3 times now it's turned in the Sharks' favour.
Our first injury hold up for the game. 16 minutes gone. And the Michalak penalty separating the two teams.
Well, what would a game be without a prop front rower of some sorts having to do his laces up? Just sometimes struggle to get them tied up properly in the changing rooms in his boat.
Long way to bend down, Justin.
Certainly is.
Look at the coloured boots that have come into rugby.
Yes.
The yellows, the blues, the greens. There's even oranges out there. What happened to the black ones?
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
McLeod feeds a solid scrum. Kankowski away for Ludick, and he makes the big kick. Fielded here by Tikarotuma and Robinson. And that's right up the centre. and is nicely fielded by Bismarck du Plessis. Right on halfway now, the Sharks, as the Chiefs try and get in and make a mess of it for them. There's Ludick again, Lambie, and Involvo coming quickly, but into touch in front of Robbie Robinson. He's very keen to get this game going again, but it'll be a conventional line-out. So the rain continues to fall. Not all that heavy, although Smithy might disagree.
He does.
Swalga goes short. Gets it back from Tamalolo. And Kerbalo swings it wide for Williams. Trying to free the arms. Handed off. And the kick and chased. Nicely done by Cruden. The ball knocked on by Lambie. Carried on by Horrell, so he's playing an advantage here. Won't play for too long, you wouldn't imagine. Here is Messam, running straight at Yanni du Plessis, bounces him out of the road and lays it off for Kerbalo. Cruden again, always probing. Now Williams. Got it away to Robinson. 12 metres away, the Chiefs. Kerbalo scoops it out. Off it goes to Horrell. Now Nanai Williams, and Tim Nanai Williams gets the opening try of the final.
Well, it's the story of the Chiefs season, you'd have to say. They got the ball kicked to them, not a lot on. It was Cruden that sparked it with a little chip over the top off the left foot. There he goes, off the unnatural side. The bounce isn't favourable because he can't get it down quick enough, Lambie, so it goes into Horrell's hands from here. Watch Williams back on the cut. Cruden brings it across, the inside the bump. Of course, the offload from Sonny Bill. Robbie Robinson, who started it, is there to continue the play. And then when Nanai Williams gets it, he's up against du Plessis, who's chasing him. You can see du Plessis thinking, can I get him? Can I get him? No, you can't. Over he goes. Great finish, great try.
Two really good pieces of linking work, and that was the second part from Horrell, because he was the one that followed up the Cruden kick and got the second phase going. But it was the Beast that made the mistake when Cruden drew across and drew Williams inside. The Beast went across 2-on-1, and Sonny Bill had the gap, and that was it.
So Aaron Cruden, 234 points in the bank already this season, which is top in the competition. And that's a good start. A converted try. 7 points to 3 after 20 minutes.
Straight away if they do it. Yep.
So a little message relayed by Steve Walsh through Aaron Cruden, aimed at Sona Tamalolo.
Same message, holding on to players around the ruck area, basically stopping them from defend. They'll have the discipline in that area.
Lambie goes nice and low. Claimed by Clark, he steps away. Kerbalo. Cruden moves it on. Here's Tamalolo running straight at Michalak. He tries to take the ball from him. Kerbalo for Latimer. He's messing as Kerbalo. This one's going nowhere at all. It's pretty much gone straight up in the air. And Horrell did really well. Brought it down. Kerbalo. That one's been tipped by a Sharks player and into the arms of Lambie. Oh, he's lost it. Scooped up by Nanai Williams. And they're playing advantage here. Tamalolo. And Robinson gets a little more on this one. And another one dropped. And Thompson scoops it up. Now, Kerbalo. Hit through by Tikaroi Tuma. And he stepped back inside the 22. Did J.P. Peterson. So they'll take the line out just inside the 22. And suddenly the Sharks can't handle the ball.
No, they looked composed, didn't they, in the first 15 minutes, but now they look a bit rattled. They're not holding on to the kicks, and there's not a lot of excuse for not holding on to them. Obviously, it's a slippery ball, but they were holding on to them in the first 15 minutes, and now they're struggling. The Chiefs are on a roll. The Sharks will need to be careful here, or this game will get away from them.
Taken down by Craig Clark, and this is a good formation from the Chiefs. Sharks can't drag it down. It's an advantage already. You'll let it go as long as you can here, Steve Walsh. As Kerr-Barlow. Now the Wipers kick, the flat kick. Nanai Williams! And it just got away from him. Oh, that could have been a nasty moment for the Sharks. They've conceded a penalty anyway, so Cruden will have a shot. But, oh, gee, that could have been a 5-pointer.
Oh, it certainly could. It was a great line-out drive from the Chiefs. Forced the Sharks into illegally entering into the ruck. From there, they had the advantage, and Cruden, boy, he's in such form. He's making good decisions, informed decisions. And he nearly pulled something out of the bag there. Obviously, a plan that they've got, and Volvo again was caught in tight, was scrambling out. In fact, it's Lambie. He falls over. Boy, he's got to get himself composed. He's dropped a couple. He's found himself out of position there. He's going to have to tidy his game up very quickly.
Well, I've got to say, Nanai Williams had two options there to go inside or outside. He chose the inside option on Lambie. Bobskin said it could have been number 2 for him.
Certainly could have been. Aaron Cruden's got the ball on a string, and they have turned it around here. The Chiefs, the try was really decisive, and then the way they went for that line-out drive just made them looking in more control than they were in the first 20 minutes.
Well, he's done it again. Penalty goal by Cruden. 10 points to 3 after 24 minutes. Lambie's last kick was low, flat. This time he's belted it away downfield. Kerr-Barlow. Cruden shifting it across. And Messam dragging it a few metres. Cruden nicely done. Dodged out of one and then made good distance on this kick. And Lambie from the back. That's a nicely weighted kick and an early jump by Robinson. Kerr-Barlow drops it in behind. Awkward bounce, Peterson. Did well to hang on to it. J.P. Peterson. And the Sharks, they haven't had the ball for a while. As McLeod waits. Off it goes to Ludick here, running strongly as Jordan. Makes good ground, thumping low, didn't put him away. Tikarotuma and Jordan still going. That's a really good run, but they've left the ball. He didn't have the support he needed. And the Chiefs have managed to grab this. There's a player down, that's Tikarotuma. He made a thunderous connection with the ball carrier, but he didn't put him away. And Cruden off the left boot, and this one goes sailing into touch. Peterson looks to go quickly, but well, it looked like it was a wonderful tackle, but it didn't stick.
Well, he hit him with the shoulder, didn't he? But Jordan just bounced off him. He went in with full intent. Tikarotuma, here's the break. He gets on the outside. He makes his way back in field, which is great play. He puts the big shoulder in, hits the midsection, but he bounces away, Jordan. Just unfortunately here for the Sharks, because he had no one in front of him. He just spills the ball as he goes forward, and Messam grabbed it, but here's the hit again. Bang, right on the shoulder. He's probably got a stinger there from that, I would imagine. Boy, something that could have been made into a bit more for the Sharks. That was a real chance.
Just speed out wide too, wasn't it? Absolutely outflanking the Chiefs, which is very rare. The message goes down from Dave Rennie that that is not a good look at all. They look pretty calm and cool, don't they? John Plumtree, he looks fairly solid in his role now, getting the Sharks through to the final. But just a an eye on the player that's down, which is Paul Jordan. He has got a left hamstring fairly solidly bandaged going into this game.
And it was a good clearance from Cruden as well off the left foot from deep in the in goal, but he still only just got it outside the 22. So the Sharks still a chance here to launch something, keep the scoreboard close, trying to accumulate some points.
Bismarck du Plessis finding Kankowski and into the arms of Kutsia. They're going backwards here, but they do have possession as the beast snaps it up. 5 out from the 22. And the ball went back again. Some good defence in close by the Chiefs. J.P. Peterson. Still there, though. The Sharks not making a lot of progress as McLeod works it across. Dropped by Bismarck.
Great
now,
pass.
yeah, Jordan, and he looks lively out in centre field. Horrell had to drag him down. There's McLeod again. And the big man takes it up again. Ball turned over. Robinson makes the kick. Wide open spaces here. Ludic going back and in the end shattered it into touch. And frustration on the bench for the Sharks. They had an opportunity, but they've turned it over in the attacking 22.
Well, all of the Chiefs are working very, very well at the breakdown, vigorously going in. And that time it was Tim Nanai-Williams that managed to get the turnover. Here's the beast going forward. There's Tim Nanai-Williams. Over the top he goes. He doesn't give up. Stays there. Initially didn't get the ball. The second grab got it and got the turnover and the clearance from Robbie Robinson.
Once again using Kankowski as the line-out man. Now Bismarck du Plessis as they try and get a drive going here. Looks a bit disjointed as McLeod waiting for this as Tikaroituma did really well again. Slipped out of a couple. Slipped out of more than a couple. Into Sharks territory they go. Kerr Barlow. Away for Robinson at first receiver. Oh, a no-look pass. And Messam wasn't expecting it either. So play on as Swolga tidies up. Robinson gets back to play halfback. Now the little kick and chase again. Sits up nicely for Lambie. Oh, smack into Tikaroituma.
He's taken a beating from the ball tonight. He got a falcon early on. He's got one in the chest there, was it?
Just have a look at the work the Chiefs are doing at line-out time now. Twice in a row, the Sharks have complained to Steve Walsh about the speed of which the Crusaders are, the Chiefs are disrupting as the ball comes down. And they're not able to get anything going in terms of a drive or anything in their set piece. In fact, they're going backwards. Last time, Kane Thompson, very effective.
Well, Clark tips this into the arms of Messam. And the Chiefs have stolen another line out. As Kerr Barlow works it off to Williams. He pops the pass. It's there again for Kerr Barlow. Knocked through by one of the Sharks players. So an advantage here as Retallick hands it up to Liam Messam. They stay blindside. And a good stumbling run downfield. Now here's Craig Clark. Pops a nice little pass to Cruden. Not afraid to go into the heavy stuff, Aaron Cruden. There's not a lot of him. Here's Nanai-Williams, the try scorer. Works it away for Horrell. Robinson.
Great tackle.
Excellent tackle. Ball still there, though, for Kerr Barlow. Now Tamifuna. Kerr Barlow stays blindside and penalty. Penalty against the Chiefs. And holding back.
Oh, I think it's Liam Messam here. He goes to the breakdown and he's got a hold of Bismarck du Plessis. They've been warned 3 or 4 times about that. Bit of experience there from Bismarck, 100 caps tonight. It didn't look that full on, didn't it? But he waved his arms around enough to capture the attention of the referee, and he'd had a guts full by then, so they're going to have to stop it.
Well, one thing that is a given in South African rugby, Bob, is the line out, but it's looking a bit shaky all of a sudden.
Yeah, just the one loss. I think Kankowski's moving around quite a lot. He's putting a bit of pressure on the other guys to make quick decisions. You know, you can't always just resort to type. The last 2 weeks have been big for them. Time for him to stand up. Brian Kankowski's got an eye on the Springbok number 8 jersey.
And he's got another one. He is the key man in the lineouts. And hello. Now, Yanni du Plessis didn't like something. It's been reversed. He didn't like something, so he reacted. And, of course, as what normally happens in rugby, it's the reaction that gets penalised. So we'll just have to have a little look at this, but it will be a shot at goal for Aaron Cruden.
Here's du Plessis entering the ruck there. He gets hit in the face, basically, by a forearm by Schwalger. And he just pushes him back. To me, that's not a penalty. You know, this is a game of rugby. He's pushed him in the chest. Hang about. Hey?
Yeah. Not a game for sissies.
It certainly is not Grant.
So here's Aaron Cruden. A bit further this time, but he is on target. And out it goes to 13 points to 3. Six and a half minutes until half-time. Michalak, this time it's the short kick. They can put some pressure on, and they do put it on too. But it falls nicely for Taumalolo, and it's been tidied up. Short pass goes to Williams. He in turn gives it to Swalger. Now here's Robinson. He hands it off to Thompson. Chiefs doing well to retain possession on that occasion as Cruden unleashes right down the centre. Plenty of time here for Patrick Lambie. And a nice clearing kick by Patrick Lambie. Robbie Robinson there, hasn't he grown as this campaign has gone on?
Yeah, you'd have to say he's the form fullback of the New Zealand Conference teams at the moment. He's getting more chances to progress his talent and claims, obviously with the Chiefs getting through to the final, but he's been fantastic since he came back from injury, all right. Really positive, exciting player.
From the deep south, of course, Southland player. As Swalger throws to Clark. Kerbarlow knocked through by Jankowski. Obviously not knocked forward though, and here's a battle as they go across field. Nobody really winning that. Tanarel Latimer carries it in. Kerbarlow off to Taumalolo. Kerbarlow flat again for Retallick. Now Kerbarlow off to the back line, Cruden. And good strong run again by Robinson. Got it away somehow. And the Chiefs still in possession as Kerbarlow. Now Cruden. Away for Messam. But again, good front-on defence by Kutsia. As Cruden, straight into the Sharks player. So they have to go and tidy up Nanai Williams. And the Sharks players well aware they couldn't dive on top of him, but they've got plenty of white jerseys. They haven't got over the top of it. Now, Tamalolo. He's got a good turn of pace for a prop forward, and he's hard to put down too, as he lays it back eventually. Well, in fact, this will be a penalty against Bismarck du Plessis. Can't interfere with the halfback before he gets the ball. Bismarck might have felt that he had his hands on the ball, of course.
Well, they're not in this game at the moment. The Sharks, the Chiefs are dominating. They're playing very sensible, but also kind of ambitious rugby in the conditions, but the passes are sticking. They were very willing to carry the ball back to the chasing line when the Sharks kicked them the ball. Tamalolo, he just will not die. He stays alive. He's going to get driven into touch. He spins around, holds his feet. There's Bismarck trying to get in there and get the turnover. And he's coming through the side there. You can't obviously take the halfback out either. There's a chance for Cruden. He's going to have a shot, which might be at the extreme point of his range, but I did say that last week and he proved me quite wrong, Smithy.
Well, this is around 50 metres on the angle, maybe just a few more. Range just fallen away a wee bit. There's no breeze to speak of. The thing that's been key in the last couple of weeks, though, has been his accuracy. So if he's got enough in the tank, it'll probably go over. He has just been superb. Sharks had a great chance at a turnover there, and they've got counter ruck, if that's possible, by the Chiefs.
No, he never really struck that one well at all. So that's his first miss of the night. Aaron Cruden remains at 13 points to 3. And we're just a couple of minutes out from the break.
And these are big moments for the Sharks. They're down, but they're not out of this game yet, but they can ill afford to concede points now, this close to half-time. They need to keep the Chiefs scoreless.
So Lambie's kick, fielded by Cruden. He gets the call from Nanai Williams. And the little winger ducks away from the first one. Tamalolo drops it onto the boot. And the Sharks quite happy to let that one drift into touch.
Well, that's why he's wearing the fancy yellow boots, just in case he wants to put a little chip kick or a grubber kick in during the game. So he's got to have the right boots to be able to execute that properly, Nisbo.
It was interesting to see Nanai Williams doing the Tamalolo role, and Tamalolo, he just doesn't want to give away that right wing position.
He's comfortable out there, isn't he? A lot of front rowers get a little bit claustrophobic when they get that close to the touchline. They prefer to be infield a bit, but he's quite happy out there. He loves running freely, and he can run.
Move. I need you to come to the line because it's outside.
Well, that's been lost again, this time by Bressler. And the Chiefs have one final shot at it in the first half. And Messer wasn't expecting it, and it's hit him on the leg. And so they're going to have the scrum from the original knock-on.
Hey, I thought it came past the 5. I might be wrong, mate. Yeah.
The last couple of launches they've had from the scrum, the Chiefs, they've used Sonny Bill out behind Horrell, so they've sort of used him as a player that they can get on a double round from Cruden, not let him go at the line. Last week he went hard at the line. He went very strong at the Crusaders' defensive system in around 10 and 12. Crotty and Carter had to do a lot of tackling. Let's see if they decide to this time take him hard at the line and then try and get some space for the outside backs, or whether they'll use him once again as a decoy.
Pause, engage.
Right, time is up as the siren goes. Kerbarlow gets it wide to Nanai Williams. He slings it to Cruden, over the top to Robinson in a bit of space. Fired it back in field, but it's gone into touch. And there goes Steve Walsh's whistle to indicate half-time in the 2012 final. And the Chiefs lead at the break by 13-3. The thoughts of both coaches, Dave Rennie and John Plumtree. Play about to restart. Looks like the rain has stopped as well, which is good news.
No changes, either 15.
Thank you, Smithy. Aaron Cruden gets the second half started here at Waikato Stadium, and taken down by the Sharks. And all has been stolen immediately. A loose ball tipped away by Kurbalo. Now it's been picked up by Latimer, and Tanara Latimer makes a good run. Wasn't held, so went again. Now he slips it to Kurbalo. Tamalolo shows good hands. He's driven down on the tackle of Alberts. But an immediate turnover with the Sharks and the Chiefs through Messam, who's been strong tonight, as Kurbalo finding Cruden. Here's Williams, but he lost it. And now the chance for a counter-attack from the Sharks, but it's gone backwards, and the whistle goes.
Oh, you're right with what you say. Williams lost the ball there, but they should never have had it in the first place. The urgency for the Sharks is just not there. It's well won. Where's the Sharks cleaners? There's nobody there, and they're not low enough. They're too high. The Chiefs players, Swalger just goes in and grabs it. Here's the cutback from Sonny Bill. He would have been over the advantage line, just couldn't hold the ball. It's been a little bit slippery, but they cannot afford to just give easy turnover ball to the Chiefs like that, the Sharks.
Well, only 6 scrums in the first half, Justin. Incredible, really, in these conditions.
Yeah, it was for these conditions.
Touch.
Quite a few more line-outs, but
Pause.
Sharks sit here.
Engage.
Both scrums have looked pretty solid, although the Chiefs put a bit of pressure on there. As Lambie fires an awful pass to Jordan. He did well to wriggle out of a couple of tackles, buying a bit of time for the Sharks. And McLeod will have a look to see who's going to clear this. Michalak is way back. And indeed, he plugs it away downfield into the arms of Tigarutuma. Now, here's Cruden. Slips the pass to Robinson, who's looked really good at the back, Robbie Robinson. And here he comes again. Takes it almost to the 22 as Kurbalo clears it off to Nanai Williams. Big defence on him by Alberts. Messam to Retallick. And again, the Sharks having to make plenty of tackles. Tamalolo ploughs his way through a couple. Then he's held up by Keegan Daniel. Now Latimer. Quite happy to go through the centre if they can find the holes, the Chiefs. Kurbalo. Now the skipper, Craig Clark. Kurbalo gets there. Cruden. Short pass to Tommy Fuma. And the big man is in a gap. 6 or 7 metres out. And he's waved it on. Steve Walsh. Now a knock on. A knock on by the Chiefs.
That was a superb ball by Aaron Cruden. He just sauntered his way across in front of that defensive line of the Sharks. Tommy Funa just held his depth. You can see him coming across. There's the break there from Robbie Robinson. Cruden, that's what he does so well. He holds the ball in 2 hands. Later we see him do it again, and Tommy Funa was the person this time he ran off. Across he goes, 2 hands, bang, into the hole. And great tackle from Patrick Lambie to save the day.
I'm sorry, I think that was forward, that pass, to be perfectly honest. It looked like Cruden had put him into a gap, but yet certainly he'd gone forward of the Cruden pass when he received it. Gee, the back 3 for the Chiefs have been good tonight, haven't they? Nanai Williams, Tukarai-Tuma. Not a night for the little guys, and Robbie Robinson as well. Gee, they've been busy.
He wants to blow the whistle, but he hangs on. Steve Walsh. Kankowski under real pressure, but he did well to hold it up. Now Michalak, charged down, and it'll be a 5-metre scrum. Well, that could have gone anywhere. All the pressure in the second half coming from the Chiefs.
This is a great angle, a very difficult place to defend. because there's a decent blind side, and if the Chiefs players just take one player across, which they are, and Tim Nanai-Williams, it commits you almost to having two. You can see Michalak there. He's there, and Mvovo's outside of him, which gives the Chiefs the advantage on the left-hand side. They have the numerical advantage on the left. If Michalak doesn't go, the opportunity is to go right. They've got two across the Chiefs now, with Robbie Robinson going to the outside. Williams in behind. Nanai-Williams.
But a real opportunity here. Here's Thompson! Kane Thompson. The Chiefs think he's made it. He's going to check upstairs, but it just opened up like the Red Sea.
Yeah. Listen, mate, I didn't see the grounding. I'm sorry. Can you just confirm it was a try?
I'll check try, no try.
Oh, that's all he's asking. It's definitely a try. I saw the grounding from where I was. I'm sure all you people at home would have seen it as well. It's very conclusive. He went over, he grounded the ball with ease. No problem whatsoever.
Well, the Sharks, Justin, complaining about some interference being run there, and maybe the gap was so obvious. There might have been something there. Steve Walsh having nothing of it. Bob Sinstead, your view on it?
Yeah, I think Keegan Daniel was asking about the obstruction there, but he's not going to be able to take it all the way back there for another 18 months or so. If you watch on the inside, Tanner Latimer's run an obstructive line there, but, you know, the referee's not going to be able to see that, especially when Thompson goes with such purpose.
Well, it's not a bad game to score your first try of the season. Kane Thompson. He's been around the traps a bit. Wellington, Southland, Hawke's Bay. And he's had a big season in the number 8 jersey for the Chiefs. Taken by Retallick. So it's a big lead now, 20 points to 3. It's all in front of the Sharks as Taumalolo. Sharks just haven't had the ball to play with. And what ball they have had, they've kicked away. As Cruden. McLeod goes up, did well. Now Kankowski. Oh, dear me. What a collision.
Wow.
Tamafuna. Everybody's up.
How?
McLeod away from Michalak. Nice offload, but in fact it didn't hit. And Peterson put under pressure. Here's McLeod again. Oh, that's an awful pass. Kerbarlow. Now they're going to chase back in defence here. And Bismarck. And it's gone into touch, and he'll be pleased about that. Not sure what he was doing back there in the first place.
I think everyone's quite pleased about that. Tamafuna's making his way slowly to the line out. Let's have a look at this.
Oh,
no, that's no good.
Oh, that's no good.
No good at all.
They should have picked that up.
They
surely.
certainly should have picked that up. You could see the head go shooting back. Kankowski was the victim, basically. He did not miss him.
So, Bismarck Duplessis. Kankowski, he's pretty tough. He was up like a shot, and he's back into it. Now, Charles McLeod. Sounded like it touched Retallick. We'll have to see what the assistant referee thinks. Yep, it did.
Didn't bother him.
No.
Just another day at the office.
It's staggering. Absolutely staggering. Most blokes, most real blokes would have missed the rest of the match, I think.
Tamafuna, he's not that small, so as he throws his weight into it, which he certainly did, you're going to feel it.
Again, it's Kankowski for the Sharks. McLeod's going to kick again off the left boot. Looking to work their way down through by kicking, and Tim Nanai-Williams opens it up and lays it back again. Well, once more the Sharks kicking the ball away, but they've now turned it over. So an opportunity for a counter-attack perhaps, as McLeod fires it off to Mvovo. And that looked a tad forward. As McLeod again hands it up to Kutsia. Now Michalak jabs the little kick through. Robinson, it took an age. And the Sharks might turn this over. Yeah, they will. Short pass between the two prop forwards. And Willem Alberts makes some ground. Now, a real opportunity here for the Sharks as Michalak sends it wide. Ball dropped off for Lambie. Bismarck Duplessis fires it off to Michalak. Now Pinkowski. Good tackle down low by Latimer. Michalak. McLeod and Bobo. Top try scorer for the Sharks this season. Not going anywhere there though. As McLeod serves it up for Bressler. Now McLeod again. Great defence here by the Chiefs. Sharks really going nowhere. And the ball's been turned over by Thompson. He's had a big 5 minutes, Kane Thompson. As Kerr-Barlow has a look to see the formation. They're lined out pretty deep here, but you'd imagine that Cruden will want to kick it. And just a little one. And it bounces into the arms of Bressler again. And the Chiefs trying things, and it's cost them probably 3 points. Rather than hoof it away downfield, Aaron Cruden now disappointed with the decision he made.
Yes, wasn't the greatest decision he has made, and the opportunity is on. There's no sweeper there, but Michalak does very well to read it and drop back, and it was a risky option, a 50-50 chance, and not the correct one, and they will concede 3. You'd think Michalak would be able to get from here, but the Sharks, they look like they're going to get some action off the bench. I think they need it. They need some energy. They need somebody to break the line. They're not getting over the advantage line at the moment. The Chiefs' defence is frustrating them.
Yeah, they're bringing on Stephen Sykes, Sean Dasel and Dion Herbst. They're definitely looking for a bit of an injection here from the bench players. They haven't had as much time to get tired, and I suppose the travelling with them without the physicality of the games probably wouldn't have affected them as much. Those guys, the 3 are replacing Yanni Duplessis, Ryan Kenkowski and Willem Alberts.
Thanks, Bob. So the penalty is converted by Michalak, 20-6, 12 minutes into the second half. John Plumtree goes to the bench pretty early as Cruden kicks it off downfield. Now it's Peterson running into Swolga. Now McLeod. And the new boys want to get involved early. John Dasel. As McLeod gets it away to Michalak. Wide. And Ludic. Again, the Chiefs put the pressure on. Well done, though, by Lambie. Realised the danger. And hello, penalty this time to the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs will probably go for the 3 here because they have that 14-point buffer they want to add to it. But I just want to go back while they make this decision. Yes, Cruden's going to kick for goal to Bob Skinstad, and just wonder about that option of the Sharks to take the easy 3 when they finally had some territory.
Yeah, well, tactically as well. I mean, they're in the opposition half. That gave away the ball twice in that move. But once they got it back with the advantage, they went for the 3. It's such a difficult position to be in, though, chasing a game. You make decisions that you wouldn't really make if you were in it.
Looking to bring it around, not able to do so, Aaron Cruden. So 20 points to 6, it stays. We're 14 minutes into the second half, and all they can do is reflect. Lambie down as far as Nanai Williams. And the little winger, who's been lively, but he's hit it hard in the tackle. And the ball turned over. Oh, that's a pretty lame, limp sort of a kick from Bismarck Duplessis, but the referees decided to go back.
I'm sure he'll profess to knowing that he had the advantage. He'll tell his coach that anyway, because the coach would not be happy with that sort of effort, really, from Bismarck. But the conundrum for the Sharks at the moment is the fact that we haven't seen JP Peterson, we haven't seen Ludic Mvobo in the game because of the nature and the way that the Chiefs defend. It was like last week with the likes of Robbie Fruin and the outside backs of the Crusaders. They just stop the ball from getting into danger players' hands with the way they come up so aggressively. And those players have been so instrumental and so good at getting over the advantage line. Bob Skinstad mentioned it before the game. JP Peterson, he just can't get his hands on the ball.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Oh, some real pressure on this near side. Bit hard to get the ball in when there's an arm in the road.
That's right. I think they've probably got to put a little bit of a taper on the deception. The Sharks, they've got an interesting sort of set here where they've got three quite close together. I'd just like to see Michalak get it nice and flat and get it to JP Peterson nice and hard at the advantage line. Here's the scrum. The ball never actually even got in, so the referee didn't see that but got the decision right. That's where they're going to have to try and break the Chiefs down if they want to break this game apart.
Crouch.
JP Peterson's the key man for me.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Right, here go the Sharks. Jordan, who's looked pretty good at centre. The young 20-year-old. Big defence by Williams. Getting up on Jean Daisel. McLeod. Michalak picks it up off the turf. Throws a wild pass to Lambie. Can't do much with it. Lambie driven back in the prudent tackle. Now it's been thrown forward by Jordan, and that is all about pressure.
That's it. That's what's causing them the problems, Bob Skinstad, isn't it? They just cannot get any fluency out there.
That's exactly what's causing it, and maybe it's because there's a trophy at the end of these 80 minutes, but look at the intensity of the Chiefs. They're right up in the face. They've pressured Michalak, and then when Lambie has to go backwards, they've chased him into a corner as well. Offloading, just shoveling the trouble backwards.
Is there a chance, Bob, they might go and swap Lambie and put him in the 10 jersey as a playmaker?
Possibly. Michalak hasn't looked that bad when they go forward, but if you're driving the big boys backwards, he's only getting the ball in a difficult position.
Well, he's a great player. We saw it last week with Carter as well, though. He just was having Kerr-Barlow and the Lucy's and the eyesight outside him of players coming up really quick. Just under pressure, you know, these guys haven't got a lot of options. It's just a testament to Wayne Smith, who's the defensive coach, and the way the Chiefs players are getting this game plan perfect in defence.
Kerr-Barlow feeds. Thompson shielding the ball for his halfback. Now Cruden drops the pass off to Nanai Williams. Kerr-Barlow, he lost it into an opposition player, and just a lapse in concentration there from Tawera Kerr-Barlow. But what a season he's had.
He's had a great season, Kerr-Barlow. What a find for the Chiefs. When Brendan Leonard went down early in the season, a lot of people were scratching their head thinking, would this be a big problem for the Chiefs, a real breakdown for them in that 9 jersey? Well, he stepped up and showed the promise that he has had bestowed on him just by getting the opportunity to go out and play, and he's played so very, very well, really played himself into national contention.
Lelia Masanga. Difficult to pull one of the back three off. They've all played so well.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I can only think that would be for injury purposes at the moment, but Kane Thompson is making his way to the sideline, and that means the extra pace, and this guy has been itching to be part of this occasion, Sam Kane. Jersey 19.
Well, a big night for Kane Thompson as he exits, and on comes a current All Black, and Sam Kane.
You can see there Masanga getting some information coming down from the coach's box, getting the earpiece in and being told basically what he wants from these guys here. Would have been relaying the message down.
That's for Tim Nanai-Williams, who knew nothing about it, but what a night he has had. Busy, very, very busy and effective.
Well, the Sharks, 22 minutes left in this game. They find themselves behind. They need some points and need them quickly to bring this game closer. They're set to run here, not to kick. Again, an advantage to the left as we look at it. They've got numbers there. You can see Sonny Bill's the only defender. The rest of them are back waiting for the kick.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
So McLeod gets it off to Lambie. Flat pass for Jourdan, but again the pressure coming on from the Chiefs. Sharks had the ball, they've now turned it over.
Well, I can't understand that. They had a 4-on-1 to the left, maybe 4-on-2 with Curvalo pushing out, and they decided to go right and have bumbled their way to losing the ball. They need some spark, the Sharks at the moment. They are struggling for ideas. Look at that overlap on the left. They run away from it and run to where all the defenders were.
In fact, it was Louis Ludick who took that pass. So now the Chiefs have got two genuine open side flankers on the field in the form of Latimer and Kane. And Messam will pack in the back.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
So Messam detaches, and McLeod did well. He got round, disrupted it, and the advantage is gone already as Tikoroa Tuma snaps it up. Trying to drive him to the ground was Kutsia. Now Curvalo. Cruden again drops it into the open spaces where it's been snapped up by Lambie. Good defence on him by Latimer. Duplessis. Now McLeod. They've got numbers out to this left. There's a big tackle is made. Here's Masanga. Lelia Masanga. Still going. Lelia Masanga gets try number 3.
And a celebration dance that we've seen so many times this year. Masanga, when he got the ball and he was in space, I can tell you, every single person in the stadium got on their feet because he could just feel that something was going to happen. The passes were too far behind, the Sharks not in front. They run themselves into trouble here. Daniel tries to get a miracle pass away. From here, the crowd rose. Masanga responded, the step, the in, the out, the away, catch you later. That could be the final for the Chiefs.
Well, two really good pieces of work here by Andrew Horrell, but have a look here. He hooks the ball back as he's retreating in defence. He hooks it back. So the pass might have been on track, really, but he's hooked it back, Horrell, and that was on the back of helping Tikoroa Tuma out of a dicey situation. He got up and made that partial intercept, but Masanga, the story, the message got through and he delivered.
Well, there was a time 3 or 4 seasons ago when he was the top try scorer in the competition, Lelia Masanga. He's had limited opportunities this season, but he's produced a big one off a great tackle, it's got to be said, by Sonny Bill Williams, which shook the ball free. Cruden's kick is good. Thunderous tackle by Williams. Masanga had some work to do, but he got on the outside of Lambie. And could that be the try that wins the title? Long way back now for the Sharks, but they've grabbed it immediately with Mbobo. They won't give up. They're the best second half team in the competition. Ironically, the Chiefs are the best first half team in the competition overall. The Sharks were the best second half team. They're able to turn around 3 halftime deficits, but this will be some sort of task.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, they're not the best second half team tonight. They are struggling at the moment. They're trying to bring it together. That's the forward pack there. And if they're going to do something, you'd have to think Bob Skinstad, they're going to have to do it quick, and they're going to have to come up with something a bit different than they've showed us already, because at the moment they've been frustrated into mistakes. They're going backwards and just look lost for ideas.
Yeah, that's right. Look at the look on Louis Ludwig's face as well. They have been a good second half team, but they're bereft of ideas at the moment in the face of the onslaught from the Chiefs defensively and on the attack. They're not necessarily wilting, but maybe the travel is making a difference here in terms of the decision-making and the kind of efforts the individual players can put on. John Plumtree, it looks like, is ringing the changes again. Rian Fillion and Maya Bosman are going to join the fray.
We're just doing another shot for you boys, okay?
So those changes being made now.
Wow, that's a big change, Bob. JP Peterson is the man coming off, so you'd think that if anyone is going to break a game open, it would be Peterson. That's obviously with the greatest respect to Bosman, but he is a Springbok and a very good one. So they obviously have seen something in the coach's box that we haven't, and let's hope that they can come up with something special. They deserve it.
So the Chiefs only 17 minutes away as Cruden kicks it straight to Lambie. I think that's a shoulder. Yeah, there were no arms on that tackle. And that's, I think, a fair call from Steve Walsh. Just for a moment, forgot what code he was playing.
Yeah, could possibly forgive him for that. It's been a couple of years, though, Nisbo, isn't it?
Yeah.
More than a couple. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. He sort of made an effort to get that forearm around, kind of. What do you think? You're not saying much.
Bit hard to get the forearm around when the guy's disappeared.
Yeah.
I won't tell you what Bob thinks. He's just gone for a stroll.
I hope you gave him your umbrella. He doesn't need it now, does he? Obviously, the conditions have improved for you, Smithy.
Yeah, it's good. It's fitting end at this point. But that's two really bad ones, Tamaifuna and Sunnyville. They might hear more about those.
So the line-out throw claimed by Daniel. And the Sharks inside the 22. They haven't been here very often in the second spell. And they're going to meet some stern resistance. The Chiefs fired up in defence. They are really keen to get at it. As Tamafuna makes a pretty big head-on hit. Meshalak. Now here's Ludic. Away from the right wing side. Now McLeod, flat pass, that was far too flat. I'm not sure how the player was supposed to get a hold of that, and Kerr Barlow has hoofed it off downfield. And in fact, it was outside the 22, so they have to go back. Conversation there between a Frenchman and an Australian. Notice how everybody's now mate with Steve Walsh.
Yes. Now or never, Sharks.
Yep, this is really their last opportunity. And they've got advantage here. Jack Boltus took it in. As McLeod about to deliver. It's taking forever. And so they'll take the penalty now. The time for kicking for goal is well gone as Boltus in the red headgear takes it up a few metres. Now Keegan Daniel, and there's a good example of the defence that the Chiefs have come up with tonight. McLeod. Just going backwards. Now McLeod off to Meshalak. Into the centre field for Bosman. Now Mvovo. Retallick made the initial tackle low. Now Duplessis and all flying over the top as McLeod. Michalak had to try something and gave it away. Tikaroa Tuma. Well, that's all right. That's general play. Everyone stands around and has a look. But that's okay. As McLeod gets it wide. Now a knock on. How do we look?
Chance for the Chiefs.
Here they come. Now Masanga off the Cruden pass. Latimer takes a couple of metres up through the centre. Now Kurbalo. Cruden hopping in. Substitute halfback. As Robinson steps up. Gets the pass away for Retallick. Ball loose. And they've lost it this time, the Chiefs. And that'll be a knock on and a scrum. Looks like Tanner Latimer is down.
Oh, here's Cruden again, holding that ball in two hands. It was a very good tackle on the inside to cut down Masanga. Really saved a threatening situation there for the Sharks. From there was a few sort of errors and a bit of bumbling around from the Chiefs. They, from here, really didn't take advantage of that break. But, yeah, just have to say, it's their intensity that's impressive than anything else. They forced the Sharks then and Michalak into just kicking the ball away in the finish just through their ferocity.
Yeah, wholesale changes coming up here for the Chiefs. So Hickory Elliott, 16, who has had not much game time as Schwalger's dominated that hooking role. Ben Afiaki, what a man to bring on now with 13 minutes to go in your front row. And Brendan Leonard. Very proud, long-serving Chief. Will be enjoying every second of this, the number 20.
Well, these guys will be keen to be on the park when the final whistle blows, I'm sure. But these days, of course, 22-man game, isn't it?
Certainly is. Well, we've just seen Masanga come on and what a difference he made. It is a 22-man game. Tami Funa, for me, the last 2 weeks, he has been absolutely superb. A real find for the Chiefs again, like Kurbalo. So the Chiefs back three are set way back. Those three defenders that you see there are the closest to. Masanga's hedging his bets.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
So McLeod gets it in. Oh, that's a loose pass. Michalak. And Leonard got there and did really well. Brendan Leonard. And Retallick, low pass. Scooped up well, though. Retallick goes again. Taken down by Daniel. Now here's Clark. The Chiefs with a 21-point advantage. As Taumalolo almost sailed right through the ruck. Crowd getting right behind them as Leonard. Away it goes to Cruden. Williams in a bit of space. Lovely tackle on him, though, by Maya Bossman. As Leonard popped over the top to Masanga by Cruden. And offside play. Well, there are no bonus points here, so I think surely they'll take the 3.
Well, they're a pretty determined bunch, though, aren't they? They're enthusiastic, they're positive.
Oh,
they've played like this all year. Yep, I'm not surprised.
Give the crowd a bit of value.
Why not?
So Hickory Elliott, he's had to play second fiddle to Mo Schwalger. He gets it back, a little move, which finishes up with Messam only 5 metres away. Now Taumalolo is the man to watch in these situations. He's a bit far out at the moment.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Latimer, but just keep an eye on Taumalolo, number 1. He scored 9 tries this season. If he gets another one, he becomes joint top try scorer.
Turnover.
He's not going to get it right now, though, because but the referee has found a penalty.
Number 20.
He got the call from the sideline, and it was John Daisel. And it looks like a couple more Chiefs about to get on.
So they're going to take the points this time, the Chiefs. They had a bit of a crack. Credit to them for that. This is the little set move that they tried to get working at the front of the line out. Bismarck wasn't being beaten by that. And the Sharks defended that little foray quite well. And here's the penalty. Hands in there, not releasing the player. Could have been one of a couple of things.
Another three from Aaron Cruden, and the Chiefs out to 30 points to 6.
Well, changes on both sides here as well for the Chiefs. 18 for 5. So Michael Fitzgerald for Brodie Retallick. See what a season he's had, getting to the next level as well, courtesy of the Chiefs. And also in jersey 21, you'll see Jackson Willison out there. That's for Robbie Robinson.
8 minutes remaining. And it's pretty much done and dusted now, you'd have to think, as Liam Messam busting into the clear. Now he needs to find some support. He gets it from Cruden. He links up. Now Tikaroa Tuma. 7 or 8 metres away, looking for the quick ball is Brendan Leonard. It's not going to be there, though. And in fact, it's going to be turned over. And the Sharks have it. Not much they can do with it. Bressler has taken it into the setup. McLeod or somebody is going to have to kick this. And in the finish, it's Phil Ewan who does the kicking. They'll take it quickly, the Chiefs, and they'll keep the pressure on. Now here is Sonny Bill Williams. Drops the pass off to Cruden. Goes down on a high one from John Daisel. Now Leonard. Sam Kane makes some ground. Leonard knocks it on.
Wow, how big are the engines on these Chiefs players? They just are not going to relent. This is the break from Messam, sidestepping his way through the defensive line. He's got pace as well, coming from the 7th circuit. The beautiful offload. Cruden's was superb as well. Tikaroa Tuma, you'd have to say the Sharks scrambled very well and somehow managed to keep him from recycling the ball there. But they are looking dangerous from all parts of the field at the moment, the Chiefs.
Well, it's a pretty difficult 8 minutes now, isn't it, for the Sharks? They know that it's the game set and match.
And that shows it too, doesn't it?
Yeah. And they're not even staying in Hamilton tonight, Justin. They hop on the bus. This is just sort of compounds the problems they've had over the last 3 weeks. And they head to Auckland for an early flight out.
Yeah, well, we heard that a lot of these players are going to be fronting up for some Curry Cup rugby on Friday. So they've had a very, very big, and that's an understatement, couple of weeks, haven't they? Particularly if they're going to front up on Friday for Curry Cup as well.
Yes, they've got a game against, I guess it's Western Province, isn't it? In Cape Town, on Friday. And they're Natal, aren't they? Aren't they? Yeah.
Yep. Well, it is a shame because for the last good half a dozen weeks, they have been the form side with the Chiefs of this competition. They've been absolutely outstanding, and they must have been so easy to support if you're down in Durban and around that surrounding area, because they just have stood up week after week. They've had such adversity with the travel in the last 2 weeks, but a superb season to get through to the final. They really haven't been at their best tonight, unfortunately. I'm sure they haven't been. They've got a lot more to offer than they've shown tonight, but it must have all just caught up with them and overwhelmed them, I think.
Well, they were the 6th qualifier, and they did remarkably well to get into that position. But then, of course, it was always going to be on the road, being the last of the qualifiers, and to come all the way to the final. Fantastic performance, but they've just come up short tonight against a Chiefs team that really has been quite dominant all year. The winner of the New Zealand Conference, and that's not an easy task in itself. So McLeod with just over 6 minutes remaining, and a knock on. Went straight down from Maya Bosman. Just concentration lapse. Pass was okay.
And that's just fatigue for me. There's been a lot of errors they've made tonight that they just haven't made recently when they've been playing, and that's just, I think it's all just, as I mentioned, caught up with them.
Well, the other thing too was when they did have dominance in this game was about the first 18, 19 minutes. They had nothing to show for it. That was the problem. When you come away and you come away this far, you have to take the home elements out of it. You have to cash in on those opportunities. They did it so brilliantly against the Reds. That's how they snuffed them out, and then the Reds just could not catch up. To the same extent against the Stormers, but they just haven't been really able to get their noses in front to any degree when they had that chance. Territory has been huge against them.
Cruden, the key man here. He's in behind the scrum, left or right option. He'll decide when he watches the defence.
So Messam holding in the back here. A lot of heads have come up out of the scrum, and so referee Walsh obliged to blow the whistle. Just going through the motions now. 3 tries to 0. And it's been a pretty decisive performance, and a smile from Wayne Smith.
Are you happy here, boys?
Oh, gee, he's been in some successful teams in recent years, Wayne Smith.
The good thing about this setup with Cruden, where he is that when he actually receives the ball, if he gets it on the run, it's hard for the flankers to see which side he's coming. So he gets it at pace, and it pretty much negates them being able to do anything defensively towards tackling him. So then he creates the mismatch on the first 2 defenders we see left or right of the scrum.
Pause, engage.
Now Messam snaps it up, fights off McLeod. And the Chiefs recycle it as they have done all night. Lovely little pass around the back. And Willison gets it off to Sonny Bill. Lays it back for Leonard. And Brendan Leonard is held up just a metre short.
Taumalolo.
Now have a look for Taumalolo. Where is he? There he is. There he is. Not this time.
Big numbers out to the right for the Chiefs if they can move it.
Hicker Elliott, now Clark. Now they get it wide. Williams! And Sonny Bill,
off he goes.
Under the post he goes.
Oh, have you ever seen that before, Nisbo? Turn it up. Wow.
American football, they do it.
That's Jerry Maguire stuff.
Green Bay Packers do it. Sonny Bill Williams can do it.
Well, the dream has come through for the 25,000, because I think if they picked a number to score in the last minute, have the last say, it'll be him.
It certainly will be. Great offload from Craig Clark, but watch the work of Willison. Through the line, pops the ball brilliantly. Williams went very close. The patience to hold the ball and recycle it. They always had numbers out here. The Sharks tried to cut it down. You're not going to stop him from there, and off he goes. He's in search of anybody that wants to give him a hug.
And there are plenty of willing recipients. So the try scored by Sonny Bill Williams. Aaron Cruden can bring up 250 points for the season. As he converts the try, it's all go on the sideline as well. And it's 37 points to 6. Two minutes remaining. And the Chiefs will win the title for the first time and join the Crusaders and the Blues of the New Zealand teams that have won it. Elliott goes through the centre. Nessam has one go at it. Now Leonard, and
he fell really awkwardly. I was watching him. He got twisted again when he went down in the tackle. I really hope that's not another serious injury for him. Here's Sonny Bill. We'll see it properly here. We'll get the security guy out of the way, hey? There we go. Up you go, Sonny Bill. There's a few women in the crowd, I guess, would want to be in that position.
Well, I'm not sure he'll play in front of 25,000 at the Roosters next year, but never mind. Good luck.
We'll bring a few in.
He will, won't he?
Certainly will, particularly when they play the Bulldogs.
So, here come the Sharks. Inside the last minute of the final. And the Chiefs continue to belt it off downfield. No, whistle's gone, although the players haven't heard it. So just a bit of a sideshow. We're going to have to go all the way back to the 22.
Well, I guess just while we've got the chance, and we've got Bob Skinstad down there. Just be interesting to hear you surmise what you think of the final and the Sharks' performance this year.
Well, Marshy, it's been difficult because the Chiefs have been magnificent. I don't think the Sharks had the rub of the green. Maybe it was the travel, maybe it was the fact that they were up against a team that just wanted it more, but hats off to the Chiefs. They've been absolutely outstanding and great for them to win a home final.
And Justin, I just wonder, as they're about to celebrate, whether there is a case to have a break of a week before you play the final. Be fair to everyone.
Well, there is certainly a case when you've got circumstances like the way the Sharks have had to go about the last three weeks in particular. It hasn't been easy for them, and to get, I guess, a true contest in a final, if you could take the travel out of it, that certainly would help. But I guess that's what the round robin is for. They work hard through a long period of time to get themselves in a position where they don't have to travel.
Well, the security guard's getting a bit ahead of themselves. Guarding the grass.
Guarding the grass.
Well, what else are they guarding?
Well, true.
Sake.
The sacred turf.
Don't start me.
I won't. That's your train.
Pause. Engage.
So McLeod gets it in as the siren goes, and the Sharks try and do something at the end. They've lost the ball forward, and it's going into touch, and the Chiefs are the champions in 2012.
As we let you soak up the atmosphere and the feeling with the players, we can say that you'd have to agree that the team tonight, the Chiefs, showed the same qualities that they have all season. They were efficient, they took their chances, they've been exciting, they've scored tries, but they've had a determination like no other Chiefs team in the past, and that's what's carried them through to the final and enabled them to win it. The intensity, the ferociousness of their attack. They have been so good, and they deserve it.
Okay, let's go downstairs. And Bobby Skinstad with Keegan Bradley.
Keegan, very brave the last couple of matches, but one step too far.
Yeah, the hurdle was just a bit too big. I mean, no excuses. I think the Chiefs are outstanding tonight. They really suffocated us. They've been outstanding the whole season. Without a doubt, deserved winners of this competition. So, hats off to Craig and his boys for an outstanding performance tonight.
Just looking back at the game, there were about, I think it was 18 or 19 minutes. Almost everything had gone your guys' way, but the points just hadn't come, and then the Chiefs managed to take one chance. Is that where it turned around for them?
Yeah, I think that's what finals rugby is about, is you get such little amounts of opportunities to score points, and you need to capitalise. And, when we dominated the game early on, we didn't convert those into points. And, when they got one or two opportunities, they managed to get over on the scoreboard, and ultimately that's probably what counted against us, is that conversion rate.
You will look back at it, though, as a journey that you enjoyed. There was 4 tries you had to get against the Bulls, I think, almost 8 weeks ago now, and it's been a real journey since then.
Yeah, it's been an incredible journey from where we were after we lost against the Lions. You know, we clawed ourselves back into this competition and gave ourselves a chance. And, you know, unfortunately tonight we just couldn't pull it off. And like I said earlier, just hats off to the Chiefs and the coaching staff of the Chiefs. They've done an outstanding job this year.
Well, unlucky tonight, and congratulations on a great journey.
Cheers, thanks, Bob.
So the thoughts there of Keegan Daniel, the captain of the Sharks, beaten tonight by the Chiefs. Let's hear now from the winning skipper, Craig Clark, with Ian Smith.
Well, thanks very much, Grant. Your emotions right now, they must be as high as they've ever been.
Yeah, they are, yeah. I don't know, it's sort of a little bit surreal, a bit like last week, but it's certainly very chuffed.
You took a little while to press the go button tonight, up in the first quarter perhaps. They just had you scrambling a wee bit.
Yeah, we were a little bit slow out of the blocks. I guess we were coming off a physical game last week, but we got into our work, found our feet, and like I said, we got into our work.
You managed to disrupt their line out. That's quite an achievement for a New Zealand side against a South African side. Not that many scrums to talk about.
Yeah, we managed to disrupt a bit in the air and put them on the ground so they couldn't drive.
What about the level of intensity? You mentioned after last week you found it difficult to get it back, but once you hit it, you kept it.
Yeah, the second half showed our trademark line speed that we showed last week, and the boys were up and getting up in their face.
The other thing was you kept them out of the danger zone. I think they're only down there twice. They kicked a couple of penalties. They never really looked like scoring the big ones.
Yeah, we've got a heap of pride in our defence, and we talked about not letting them over and keeping the no tries.
How about this, eh? 25-odd thousand people 2 weeks in a row. They're loving this.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I'm going to say goodbye to a couple of players tonight. One of them touched down at the end. Another one did some hell of a good stuff. Scored 9 tries in the process. But this family will roll on.
Yeah, it's always a shame when this sort of things happen and when a few guys leave the team. But the 3 guys that are leaving have contributed heaps to this campaign, and you know, we'll miss them.
You've got another speech to make. I'll let you go and do that and get some silverware. Great night. Thank you.
Thanks very much, sweetie.